Hey, loves. Friday, March 13th, 2026. Right at sunset and 7:51 p.m. What's left of the sunset. Magnificent evening. And I'm going to do this segment on my bay laurel trees because that says a lot about me. And I'm going to try to get from ages 5 to 10, 5-year segments, ages 5 to 10 in an hour if possible. Heaven help me. Anyway, we'll pick it up from here, chapter 2. All rights reserved, and I take no responsibility for what you might hear or see here. It's a total disclaimer. Yeah, because the Holy Spirit does move here. I have pineal, and I'm just going to tell my story to the best of my ability. At least you got it coming from me. And, well, there's me anyway. But I'd rather focus on my bay laurel tree, personally. So anyway, 5 years old, Walnut Creek, California. Yeah. And roller skating every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday after Dad got home from work. And we ran the roller skating rink. Oh, it was so much fun. Dad knew the best games, and he ran the roller skating rink and the music and the games and everything, and Dad really knew how to do it. Multiplying couples and, stop on the dots and prizes. You take a little ticket up to the snack shack and get a soda or something for winning a game. Everybody won. It was awesome. Multiplying couples. And, shoot the duck. Yeah, roller skating was my thing. And I was like lightning. I roller skated before I walked really well, really. And roller skating was everything, yeah. And my brother Clifford was in competition. Of course, I was taking lessons from Helen and George. Helen was my skating instructor. She was awesome. And she got me riding those lines and following those lines and doing those circles. And yeah, speed skating was my favorite. I was like lightning. I wanted to be a roller derby queen. Totally. That was what was in. And then by the time I got old enough and big enough and tough enough and fast enough, yeah, it went out of fad. Just my luck, right? That's okay. I grew up anyway. And I was 5, 6. We were having fun at the house, 6. Mom and Dad would still have their fights and Dad would still rage, but we had more good times then, fishing on the Delta, going to the beach, driving across the Golden Gate Bridge. And I said, Dad, it's orange. It's not golden. No, he's driving his white Cadillac. It was like a 1955. It was awesome. And, yeah. And that was when I was 5, 6, And we had barbecues and company, and it was a lot of fun from out Diablo Valley. It really was. And then 7 was about the time my mom and Dad got divorced. Right around, and things just went to all chips. Dad couldn't stay loyal to my mom, and he had an iron fist. And yeah, they, and everything was in then. Everybody getting divorced. I was 7, so that was right at 1970. Yeah, and Mom couldn't take my dad's infidelity or his temper anymore. She was with him exactly 13 years before she couldn't put up with him no more. No more. Poor Patricia is still at Gravesmore. And I don't blame her. My dad put her through all kinds of stuff that no woman should have to go through. Humiliation to the maximus. But anyway, so Mom finally said, "Get the hell out, Robert William Reider. Don't you bring that back." And she tried to take care of us, but remember, she was a manic depressive, and she was depressed all the time, or on tranquilizers, or in the hospitals. And Mom, she really, really tried. Bless her heart. And I think she lasted maybe 6 months, a year, maybe, not even that. And the house got infested with fleas, and in Walnut Creek, that's a very good possibility it happens. And Mom lost it trying to take care of all of us 3 kids with Dad gone, who nowhere, and he wasn't sending child support either. So that didn't make it any easier on Mom at all. It was very, very hard. We were very, very poor. And Dad was always off. He was gone somewhere. Mom always had him on the run for child support. And he couldn't afford to take care of himself and pay child support and all that. And she always had him. And he couldn't call us or nothing, or send us letters or anything, because that would give him away. Mom would send the cops his way. I mean, go put him in jail for not paying child support, and then he couldn't get out from underneath it. So that kept us apart. But anyway, so my mom tried for a while, and the house got infested, like I said, with fleas. And that was it. Mom couldn't take it. She had a nervous breakdown, big time. Went into a total spiral. And they had to admit her to the hospital. She tried to commit suicide. She was totally went on overload. Of course, I understand why. And David and I ended up in a foster home. I think Clifford went with my dad. And so I remember the foster home. And I remember, being a stranger in this house. Being with other kids in a bed. It was trippy. But anyway, so, yeah, my arthritis is, and there's that. Teresa, she's so pretty. Anyway, where was I? The foster home. Yeah, we stayed there for a while, and my dad told my mom, hey, I'll come back and take care of the kids in the house, but you got to sign everything over and just take care of yourself. And Mom agreed, under duress, she said. And my dad got us for a few years, a couple of years, 8, I was 8, 9, 10, 11, there. And that's when Dad and I built a mountain with dirt and stuff and took it up there. And I went trucking with him every summer while Mom was getting treatment, getting her life together. And Dad, he had parties and all kinds of stuff at the house and raising my brothers. But hey, the house was always clean. Our homework was always done. And we didn't have a TV. None. No. And we were reading. I read all kinds of books, and my dad knew. He taught me a lot. But he also did his thing up on the mountain. It was his mountain. Mount Diablo Valley was my dad's valley. And a lot of stuff was going on in the 70s. Everybody was shagging, swapping, you name it. And divorce was in, and birth control was in. They came out with birth control pills. That was a big thing. And it turned flower children into sex things, unfortunately. And we had Laugh-In, and we had Flip Wilson, and that added to, in my opinion, to the degradation. But they told a lot of truth in those comedy shows. And I grew up on I Love Lucy, and programmed in front of the TV. Remember a lot of that from 5 to 10, because I'm just staying in that time frame here. And disco, disco wasn't in there. Pong came in, the Atari systems. I remember that. My dad had a little MG, a little sports car. We built it together. And we would fly up and down that mountain. Mount Diablo was great. Flying down that in the MG. And then we had Soul Train and American Bandstand, and that was all in. And I loved the soul music. I learned to dance by soul music. Yeah, I sure did. Yeah, Soul Train, Flying the Family Stone. War, all of the cool music that came in. And anyway, roller skating, still Main Street, cruising down Main Street. All the fun stuff that was going on. Gay 90s Pizza. I met Archie Bunker there. And Dad was awesome at darts and dice and pool and everything. He's a master. Really was. Even though he could be a bastard. Really good. He was mean. And very, disciplined. I mean, his temper was unimaginable, my dad's. But he was also a lot of fun, and he loved to dance. And boy, he could dance and roller skate like the wind. He could. And yeah, we spent all summer driving the truck when I was off school. Yeah. Yeah. My dad taught me how to whistle. Yep. Yeah, my dad could whistle up a storm. He was very talented that way. And there was, the best drugs going around in Mount Diablo Valley. All kinds of them. No holds bar. Really, and Dad loved to drink. He did. And Mom was, working on herself and getting better in Lafayette. And it was okay, but, a lot was happening with the parties at the house. And, what I was exposed to, the hippies and the flower child. And I had to protect myself, because there were many who wanted to give me a go. That was always part of the show. And, well, let's see. Yeah, some chapters I'm going to do a lot faster. Well, yeah, that chapter was pretty quick. I went into I did a lot of stuff. I went to modeling school, I remember that. Dad got me into that. Had a really good Christmas then. I don't know if I can do this. It's really hard. 'Cause I remember having a lot of fun. But I remember being scared a lot and too sensitive, too much, and tired. I would fall asleep anywhere. And I sleepwalked still for a while. And I was exposed to people in the Mount Diablo Valley who weren't very good people at all. Who, exposed, little kids to stuff they shouldn't have at all. And I knew that that wasn't me and that people were going to try that and all. Even my own dad, that was the first time when Gloria and him split up and in the house. Mom got the house back and Dad was pissed when Mom got the house back because she signed everything under duress, like I said. She said in court. And Dad was pissed. Gloria and him got on the splits, and Dad sold everything in the house. Every lick of furniture, everything he could sell, he sold. And then he poured cement down the pipes and left us with nothing at all but empty hall and no water at all. And of course, it was a lot. I remember when my dad left that day, everything packed on his MG, and Farmer was with him, his German Shepherd Farmer was with him. Dusty, his little poodle dog, split. But anyway, so I remember when he left that day and my mom came driving up. I had to go back and really rescue myself from that part because that was really scary for me when Mom drove up. My dad was driving away, who I thought would protect me, and Mom came driving up. But anyway, I didn't mean to go Sedgway, but before my mom came back, my dad was packing up stuff, and Gloria and her kids moved out. And my dad was drunk one night. It was right around 9, 10, something like that. And, or 11, something like that. And, it was 10. Yeah, 9. Anyway, so, Dad came, we had swapped rooms, and I took the little room and Dad took the big room. And he came into my room and got into bed with me and started feeling me, started touching me and rubbing on me and stuff. And I thought, well, he thinks I'm Gloria, because Gloria had just moved out. He mistaken me for Gloria, And so I squirmed out, man, and I took off, and he said, oh, yeah. And I went into his bedroom, because we had just swapped rooms. He left me alone, but it scared me to the maximus, because if I hadn't got out of the bed, what would have happened next? So anyway, right after that was when Mom came back and Dad drove off before Mom left. Before Mom came up, Dad took off. It was so hard for me. I watched him take off, and here comes Mom, man. Oh, chips. This isn't going to be good. I knew it was going to be bad from the get. My mom always had it out for me. She was always jealous of me, and she treated me very, very badly. As much as I loved her and I tried to help her, it didn't matter. I tried to be the light in her life and give her the love she couldn't give herself. Anyway, yeah, sure as chips. She came home, and it went to pits. I mean, my brothers, yeah, they were okay with it, because Clifford was Mom's favorite, and David was the middle. Everybody's going to put it out on me. Put it on Lori. And boy, she did. And it didn't last very long, really. But that was during that time from 8 to 10. It was right after Mom took us back, and we were taking this guy back to Livermore. A friend of the family, me and my mom, my brother David. And we take this guy down to Livermore. And we get on the freeway, headed down. And the announcer on the radio says, be careful, the first rain of the season's here, and the roads are going to be really slick. Careful out there. And I thought, well, hey, wouldn't it be weird if we were in an accident on the radio about it? So we dropped this guy, Mike, off all the way down to Livermore, and we on our way back, and we get to the bottleneck where Danville meets Walnut Creek. It's the bottleneck, and yeah, the roads were super, it was raining and dark, and this lady's getting up on the freeway, and this guy, my mom slowed down, and this guy was going 95 miles an hour behind us, and luckily we were in an Olds Cutlass, because it was a big thing, but he hit us, bam, right in the smack, and I was in the back, and my mom and David were in the front, and then he hit my quarter panel, and the next thing I knew, I'm outside the car. And I'm watching the car down below. It's spinning around, but I'm pulling away from it. And the further I pull away from the car, the lighter I get. And I'm wearing this light, and it feels so much lighter. It's like, wow, I don't feel anything. It feels wonderful. But I see this car actually, I see me down there. But the less I worried about it. Yeah. And it was pretty cool. I was in this beautiful golden light, and I felt everything's all right. And the further I got away from the earth, the better it felt, the more peaceful. And it was a beautiful sight. And I could see and feel all people who loved me around me. And I got further away from the earth and just so at peace. It was really neat. And all of a sudden I was in the middle of this river. And it was a beautiful ancient river. And it had rolled rocks, and I couldn't get on one side or the other. There was no bridge on either side. I was just sitting right there in the middle with creator, director. And I'm looking back down this ancient riverbed with huge sequoias and this purple mountain majesty in the background. I just still can't forget it. Like I'm looking right at it almost. It's so much in my mind. But anyway. So I hear, and I'm like 9 years old or so. 8 or 9, right there. And I'm in this little white dress, and I'm looking down, and I'm in this little white dress with a chain of daisies on my head. And there's these little daisies, on the little island, middle of the river. And creator, director Elohim says, well, you're not done yet. You got to go back there. I said, say what? I got to go back down there? I didn't like the first 8 years, whatever. I don't want to go back there. I like it here. Can I just stay here? Creator, director, in neither a masculine or feminine voice, kind of right in between, said, hey, you got so much left to do. And I said, well, you want me to go down there and get back to that stuff? What do I have left to do that's so important? I can't tell you. I'll always be with you, and eventually you'll come back here. You won't have to go back again. I promise you. I'll be with you. And he said, there's one thing. And I said, well, why can't you tell me what I need to do? I mean, really, because it doesn't seem fair. Can't you tell me what I have to do? And I said, please help me understand. He said, well, since I was a little girl, the creative director said, well, it would be like giving you the answers to the questions. Like the teacher would cheat and give you the answers, I can't do that for you. Sorry, but I'll be with you. I'll guide you. You'll hear me. It's okay. And I'm like, man, he says, you'll know. I'm there. You'll feel me inside you. And he said, I just need you to get your mom to stop that car as soon as you get back there. Sit up, jump over the seat if you have to. You tell your mama, stop that car, mama, right away. It's okay. And beep, I was right there, sat up in the car. Mom, stop the car, stop the car, stop the car. And we got these cars coming at us. And Mom said, I can't stop, these cars are coming. I got to get the car off the front. No, stop coming over. And, hey, Batty. And then my Battykins just jumped up. Hey, Battykins, if you can see Battykins, there's Battykins. Yeah, and, my mom stopped the car, finally, and we came 3 inches from a 200-foot cliff that just would have, taken us right off. And I couldn't have seen it from the back seat, no possibility. And, yeah, but being in that warm bathtub, that love, the love is what I felt more than anything. Wow. The love is what I felt, totally. It was absolutely magnificent, really. And, yeah. That's not something that you forget ever. And then, for some reason, at that time, I guess for insurance or something, they had my mom's car towed back to her house in Walnut Creek at 2023 First Avenue. And I knew I'd hit my head. I knew I'd hit that side when that guy hit that side of the car. And so David and I go out there, And I said, let's go take a look at the car. And oh my God, it was, the whole back end was just like a big V. Yeah. And went in, and the whole side where I was sitting was all absolutely mashed. And went in from the other side. The other side wasn't so bad. There where I was hair and blood, dried blood, of course, and obviously skeletal stuff. And Dave and I were just looking at each other. Yeah. Because I told Dave what my experience. I didn't tell my mom, because my mom got really hurt in that accident, and I didn't want to lay any more on her, so I didn't tell her. But I saved us. Well, the heavenly saved us that day. Creator, director told me that's the only thing I could tell you to do. You stop that car when you get there, girl. You step on it. And that, wasn't my first experience with Heavenly Creator. During that time, we, for a short time, lived in San Mateo, over the bridge. And I went to this little white girl, all or nothing, tiny little thing, in a school full of black kids. And my brother David, he's a white kid, so they had it out for him. And they gave us a hard time. And my mom moved there for a short time with a boyfriend. And we had this apartment, and I'm down, it was a 2-story apartment, and I'm down at the bottom playing. I look up at our apartment, I said, wouldn't it be weird if we had a fire and we were in the paper for it? And kind of the same thing as with the accident, wouldn't it be weird? And my mom took us to her boyfriend's house that night, me and David, but she left Clifford at the apartment. And they had a party or something. Somebody dropped a cigarette. Nobody knew it was there, and Clifford went to bed. And luckily his door was closed. But this huge fire broke out in the apartment, and he jumped out the second story and didn't get hurt at all. In his underwear, it was kind of funny, actually, but yeah. And that, right after that, we stayed at a hotel because of the fire, and I was there at the hotel. My mom was with her boyfriend Najee in one room, David and I were in another. And I was a sleepwalker, as I said. During this time, I didn't stop sleepwalking until I was like 9, 10, something like that. It was distance. But this was the incident that stopped me from sleepwalking anymore. We went to this hotel, and this hotel was like at least 10 stories. And we were about midway up. And Dave and I are sleeping in our room, and I went sleepwalking. And I went out the room, I got out the door, and there I was, just about over the rail. I mean, going over. David caught me just in the nicker. Oh my goodness gracious. And I woke up looking over. Oh yeah, it was at least 5 stories down. It was a long way down. And saved by the grace of my brother David, that's did enough to get me to stop sleepwalking. And yeah, that was quite a journey. At 2909 now, 2909, yeah. And this is from 5 to 10, but this incident happened, I was, San Mateo was when I was like 8, something like that. Right around the time of the accident, they were relatively close together. So I had a lot of experiences, and I always had connections with animals and flowers and gardens and trees. And my mother taught me much about telepathy and memory games too during this time of my life. And she taught me a lot about cooking and sewing, esoteric knowledge, meditating, the I Ching, so many. Gosh, I could go on and on. My mother, Man of La Mancha was her favorite. Man of La Mancha. And she would play that so loud. And my mother was huge in music. She loved music. And, yeah. And unfortunately, her Scotch whiskey. I don't know why she was Irish, but she drank Scotch whiskey. Made her mean and chippy. You think I get skippy when I drink? Oh, my mother was a fury. Yeah, she could be mean as all get. She could. Well, she was Irish, 5'2", red hair, green eyes, freckles. And definitely lived up to her Moore name. She had a temper, that Moore. Scream like a banshee. Yeah, I've done it once and I don't really want to do it again. But I know I'm capable. It's in my DNA. And Bill Donahue was saying today about DNA and how we're activated through that. And that is true. Our DNA is everything. It's our heavenly connection to our universal brothers and sisters too. Yeah. A lot of the sleepwalking I did was when universal brothers and sisters would come and get me in the middle of the night. And I would do that automatic walking wherever they would lead me. And I do remember those things too. Yeah, though they would erase my memory. Some things you can't. And I don't mind being genetically, uniquely created. Our universal brothers and sisters are part of us too. We're stars, they are too. Mm-hmm. Different shapes and forms of life. It's really cool. That's, we're all interconnected in that spiral, each star. Like that star right there. Starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might have the wish I wish tonight. Yeah, that wish goes to infinity and beyond. For every man and woman. What am I up to in time? Yeah, let's see. Need to use, 3313. Exactly. I had to use my other eyes to see, though. I cannot see up close. Oh, my reading. Oh, Lord in heaven. Yeah, I used to read like the wind before I had my surgery. Now I got my cataract. I can't read anything, really, without my glasses. So this has been a huge adjustment. If I had $10,000, I could have got my other lenses, and I wouldn't change my vision at all. But I didn't have the 10,000, so I got to take what I can get. And I'm very grateful I can see at night. I can see the stars now. That's beautiful. I can see long distance. I can drive at night. I can drive in the morning now. So that's okay. You gotta give something to get some. All the time. It's just the way life is. And yeah, during that time from 5 to 10, I had 4 eye surgeries. They took my eyes out 4 times trying to make them straight. They were crooked. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. But yeah, I had that really bad lazy eyes. And I saw things way differently. So they did my first surgery when I was like 7 or 8, yeah, that's 7. And, I had 4 subsequent surgeries all the way up into my 9th grade. And those surgeries were awful. My God, the pain. All the pain. Oh, insane. And they never did really straighten my eyes anyway. And since then, I've had 3 more surgeries on my eyes. That's okay. I'm grateful to have them. Some people don't. I'm so very grateful for that, truly. That I have eyes to see. And yes, since 1963, I've seen more than I truly want to see. In a lot of ways. But, yeah, then, at that time, Johnson took over. We still had the Vietnam War going on when I was 5. From 5 to 10. Yeah, Vietnam is still going on. We're trying to get out of that during that time. Some of my experience. Ohio State. How many veterans died for nothing? Thanks to Lyndon B. Johnson. Keeping that war going and drafting our young men so they could make a dime, man. Most came back disabled, addicted, and dying. Agent Orange, boy. It was an atrocity for me. I was in elementary school, singing Joy to the World and trying to stop this war. Listening to how many times do we have to keep settling a score. That was big from 5 to 10 years old for me. We just wanted peace and love and unity. Yeah. My battery's only got 15%, so this chapter I might have to cut short. But being a flower child that I was born to be from 1963, I was a total flower child. Yeah, absolutely. Singing and going to the park and loving the flowers and loving nature. Being one with her. And we just want the best for everybody. But hey, other systems like Lyndon B. Johnson and Skull and Bones and secret societies had a whole nother agenda in mind. Yeah. When I was 5, they took out MLK. And not long after that, I think I was 7, they took out Robert F. Kennedy for the same reason. And hey, I've seen the programming since then. I've seen how they've steered our society and programmed us, enslaved us, monetized us, driven us, fear-mongered us, pesticided us, and just in that time alone, from 5 to 10, they did a lot of damage, man. I got my Social Security number when I was 7. 6 or 7, I got my Social Security number. I'll never forget it. You got to remember that number. That number's going to be with you your whole life. Can't forget that number. You got, what's that number? What's your number? What's your number? It was really weird. Yeah. And we were doing March of Dimes for Jerry Lewis. Help disabled kids. We wanted to help us kids. And, then came Nixon. We know where that went. And he wasn't a crook, really. He was not. It's been proven. Just another part of the agenda. Return to sender. And yeah, Elvis was still big then. During that time period. He was awesome. Elvis was real big. And he certainly wasn't perfect. He's a beautiful human being, though. He was so generous to people. Very good-hearted. He had his own demons like we all do. And he had to put on a show and, all the time. That's yeah, people wouldn't understand how hard it is to live that way. But he was really big in that day. Let me see. I Dream of Jeannie, and Hogan's Heroes, and all these sitcom shows came out, and people were getting programmed through those. Like, this is how, your life is supposed to look. This is how you're supposed to pretend to be. Like, Leave It to Beaver and I Dream of Jeannie. And then they had Bewitched. Lest we forget, it's okay to be a witch. TV programming did it to us, and then came along, the Munsters and the Addams Family. There was Dark Shadows there. Dark Shadows was there in Twilight Zone. I remember that from being that age group, 5 to 10. I remember Twilight Zone. Hated those shows. And scary movies. My brothers loved so. And my brothers would force me to watch those shows. They'd fart in my face or give me a blanket party and beat the chips out of me if I didn't watch those scary shows. Programming me. And I didn't know at that time I was born into a darkness of people and that I didn't even recognize. Not really at all. I'm not like these. I'm different from these people. They're supposed to be my family, man. Because my brothers tortured me in that time frame too. So I took punishment for my brothers big time. I was the little one. And they would force me to, watch these dark shows. But that's how it was in the Mount Diablo Valley. There's a lot of dark people there, including my family. My mom and my dad. Dad would love to scare us. At the time we were scared the most watching a show. Really into it. Even if it wasn't a scary show, he'd scare us. They got a thrill out of scaring us. It was kind of, Anyway, a lot changed during those days. The hippies, the Beats, the Haight-Ashbury, San Francisco scene, Berkeley. It was a whole nother scene from 5 to 10 for me. The whole world changed, and wow. And we knew about UAPs, and then they were disclosing over different films and stuff, and Star Trek, and that came a little bit later though. But yeah, we had the whole hippie thing, and that created its own revolution with the U.S. government and people exercising their rights and saying, hey, we don't agree with the war you want to play. Okay? And we had enough of it with Korea and the Pacific Theater. And people, they have a right. And that star is moving because I'm not. Yeah. People have a right to say how they feel if they don't feel good about a war, or where their government is spending their money, or what that's supporting. Really, so much of the money they've spent sending it other places, supporting other wars, our country would be totally, people wouldn't be in the streets. That's a certainty. And that's been happening since I was a kid with the hippies. Because we've been going downhill, downhill since then as a country. But I'm just talking about from 5 to 10, what I saw happening. And the nuclear plants they were bringing in, and hippie protesters protesting them. Yeah, And the politicians, the Democrats in California, were really getting full on then. Totally. I think it's moving. And I moved too, but that star is moving. I've been sitting in the same place. That's moving, not me. Anyway, so yeah, a lot was going on and people were protesting the war. That's for sure. And they had a right to do that, you know? To feel, hey, no killing is good. None. No killing is okay. What was that?
Me, I gotta take a shit.
Oh, time to drain the pit. Jose's got a, of course, right in the middle of my story. No, it's at the end. That's cool. Hey, man, it's, chit, C-H-I-T happens, right? Totally does. Proof in the pudding right there. Where's my laurel trees? I don't think you can see them there, but they're there. Betty's on my lap right here. But you probably can't see her there. She's right there. Yeah, I'm sitting here. It's a beautiful evening. Absolutely. And let me see, I got 13 minutes left. Isn't that funny? Yes. Totally. And, hey Joey, will you bring me a water, please? Hopefully he heard me. There's that star, I see it. Star right there, but I could have sworn it was smooth. Focus in on it. Starry, starry night. Paint your palette blue and gray. Yeah. Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hills. Sketch the trees and the daffodils. Catch the breeze and the winter chills in colors on this snowy linen land. Yeah, now I understand what you tried to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity. Now they tried to set them free. They would not listen. They did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. For they could not love you, but still your love was true. Yeah. It's still there, whatever it is, it's moving. And my battery's running low. And I gotta get a drink of coffee. Heaven help me. But that's how it was, and that was until 1973. Yeah. 1973, I turned 10, and it was on. And we had more civil rights then, thank goodness. Martin Luther King's murder did accomplish, civil rights, and finally, thank goodness. And we had more women's rights coming in then, too. And we had to go through the LA riots and all that, and, it pushed that we, had to have so many African Americans in the workforce, and that meant they had to, bring them in, to integrate them into, with equal pay. They should no different have a job equal to somebody else who has that job. They should have the same opportunities. And that was a good thing. Everybody should be equal. And that was bringing in the age of Aquarius too then. Yeah. And it was a beautiful thing. And that song, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. And that was done by the Fifth Dimension, Delphi Records. Yeah. It was quite a prophetic song, actually. Harmony and understanding. Yeah. And love will steer the stars. And here we are. It's funny, my dad nicknamed me Love when I was a baby. He had it tattooed across his chest, born to love. It was precious. He tattooed it in there himself. Yep. So, let's see. Oh, I got still 9 minutes left. Isn't that something? Totally. And I'm doing it chapter by chapter. This is up to 10 years old. Next, I'll do from 10 to 15. And from 15 to 20. Yeah. And take it up to 13 chapters. And this is chapter 2. Closing it out, all rights reserved. And hey, I warned you. But I'm not saying anything bad here, really. Just telling my story for posterity. You know, Carl Jung said, get it out of your subconscious mind. Dig it out and get the chips out. You know, they exposed you so much. And mom's suicides trying all the time, good God. And me being the scapegoat. And wow, what a ride. It's really something. There's a lot of fun in there, too. You know, I picked the nuggets, you know, the good stuff that I remember, too. Wasn't all. But so many things changed, totally, in our country. I got a great education, though, at Lark Elementary. I was really blessed for that. I had good teachers there. Yeah, even though I got my ass kicked for my eyes being crooked. And I did get bullied a lot from 5 to 10. I did get bullied a lot by kids. And my parents were going through divorce, and it was so hard for me. And, yeah, the black chicks at the black school in San Mateo, well, that wasn't fun for me. They picked on me. Oh, my God. It's not the place for me. Little white cracker thing. Tiny thing. Yeah, and then even at Larky Elementary, they picked on me because, hey, my eyes were funny and I was going through hell at home. Made it very easy to bully me. But they would get up in gangs. They wouldn't come at me one-on-one. They'd come at me in packs. It's kind of always like that. And, yeah, I even had... Never mind. I took a lot of punishment. And from my family, mostly, too. Yeah. I know, I always was a target for people. I was always so sweet and loving, never did nothing to them, man. But boy, they sure were a magnet for me. Absolutely. And I love me. It's good for me to get this out of my subconscious. So if I do bite the chip, well, at 53 there, timestamp, well, then I go out with a much clearer subconscious and conscious. I think that's awesome. Not everybody gets that gift. And listening to Bill Donahue tonight and putting the puzzle pieces together, click, 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 hey, they could take this whole place out and I'll be okay. That's the blessing. I get to fly away, leave it all behind me, know that I did the best I could with the crap I was given. And if I can prove that anybody can grow up out of it, then anybody can. You know, if we grow up out of it, we're going to walk through it and go through the yuckies. It's rising above it like a phoenix out of the Mount Diablo Valley. During that time, that was the heat of it. Yeah, the 60s and 70s, you bet. Yeah, that was the best of it in a lot of respects. it was also the worst of it, and it planted seeds for the future generations. Yeah, Jimmy Buffett. Where are the people your parents warned you about? Yeah, and something like that. And I've got 4 minutes left. And it led into the demise and decay of, American society. The thing was to get divorced, abandon your children, don't pay child support, do all the drugs, swap, people have, be sexually immoral, take no responsibility. And, The Devil Made Me Do It was the classic with Flip Wilson. The devil made me do it. The devil made me do it. Yeah, blame the devil rather than taking responsibility and blaming your own lower nature, really. At 5555, exactly. Totally. Yeah, and yeah, that you just drive right by it rather than taking responsibility and trying to go rise up to your higher nature, really. Where's crosses? There's crosses. Yeah, kind of lost myself in time there. I must be clearing nicely. Because it is really about the way, the truth, and the life, and this is my experience, just my perspective. You don't have to agree with me at all. I'm not talking to anybody but the heavenly within me and the Holy Spirit, and those who might want to listen to my story and maybe learn something from direct experience. I just came to witness it, and I've observed, this is what I've observed in my walk since 2/18/63. Oakland, California, 6:37 a.m. Providence Hospital, little old me. Now I am little old, 63. I got my Diamond Jubilee, and I'm totally grateful for that. Absolutely. And this will be a unique book written, one of a kind, never done before. Just telling it plainly from my mouth to your ear. It's been a long journey, and a lot's happened here. And hey, that's only, 5 to 10, 10 to 15. Boy, that was interesting. We'll get there slowly. We'll take it right, through the heavenly light, the way, the truth, and the life. And I'll say it again very plainly. Without the truth, you got no way. Without the truth, you got no life. Without the truth, you're screwed. So lighten up. Don't kick yourself too much. We've all messed up. That's a certainty. Absolutely. And we all make up for it and try not to anymore. Yeah, cross the street at the crossroads there. Thank you. Yeah, just walk on by and keep walking, and remember the Beatitudes. Walk forth, those who grieve, for you'll be comforted as you continue to walk. Walk forth, those who are persecuted for my name's sake, for you will see God on your walk. Walk forth, those who are meek, for you shall inherit the earth on your walk. Yeah. And I'm right at 58:38, totally, in the Holy Spirit. And now we're on with the Divine Feminine in the Golden Age of the Aquarian. I am very blessed to have witnessed this for all of you. Just my experience and my perspective. Yeah, I don't think it's ever been done this way, but hey, that's just me. You can call me crazy. I got 1 minute left, and, the name of the Father and of the Son. Father in our heart, Son in our... Father in our mind. See, I'm messing up my last lines. I'll just go through it quickly. With the Father in my mind, Creator, Director, Elohim. The Son, Jesus, in my heart. And the Holy Spirit as the woman to help me walk through this crazy world. Amen and woe, man. That's the way I say it, but hey, I messed up my lines anyway. See, I'm not perfect. I'm never gonna be. So sweet ascension dreams. I'm going to fly off until chapter 3. Heaven willing. Absolutely. I'm going to meditate, fill with golden light, and go up to the heavenly. infinity breathe and let it all fly away. Totally love you, lovelies. Absolutely.